Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a huge question for anyone who's ever thought about building an app. How do you get it on every single phone out there without completely breaking the bank?
All right, so let's say you've got this killer app idea. You want everyone to have it, right? Of course you do. But that means you need to be on iPhones and on Android phones. And that, my friends, is where the trouble usually starts. It's like having to fight a war on two separate fronts.
Yeah, this slide, it just perfectly captures the old-school headache. You'd literally have to hire one team of developers for iOS, using one programming language, and a completely separate team for Android, using a totally different language. Think about that. 2 teams, 2 timelines, 2 budgets. It's double the work and way slower to get your app out there.
But what if? What if there was a better way? What if you could just build it once and have it run everywhere? I mean, that's kind of the holy grail of app development, right? One team, one code base, one launch.
And that is exactly what brings us to the hero of our story today, hybrid app development. The idea behind it is actually pretty simple, but it's a total game changer. It's all about mixing web tech, the stuff that powers websites, with the framework of a mobile app. So you can write your code one time, and poof, it works on both iOS and Android.
All right, so let's really get into it. To see why hybrid is such a big deal, you've got to put it side by side with the traditional native approach. Let's have a showdown.
Okay, now this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's all about trade-offs. You can see right away, hybrid apps totally win when it comes to cost, speed to market, and just making your life easier with maintenance. But, and this is a big but, if you need the absolute top-tier, fastest performance, or you need to dig deep into the phone's hardware, we're talking advanced camera features, AR, that kind of stuff, the native still holds the crown. So there's no single right answer. It really depends on what you're trying to build. And just when you think you've got it figured out, there's another layer. See, hybrid isn't just one thing. It's more like a category with a few different flavors inside. Each one has its own strengths. So first up, you've got web view apps. The easiest way to picture this is to imagine taking your website and wrapping it in a native shell. It's basically a custom-built web browser that only shows your site, but it looks and feels like a real app on your phone. Since they're built using standard stuff like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they are super fast and cheap to get going. This is perfect for apps that are all about showing information. Think a newsfeed, a blog, or a simple company directory. It's a fantastic way to get your MVP, your minimum viable product, out the door.
Okay, let's level up. Next, we have framework-based apps. Now this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about powerful tools like React Native and Flutter that completely change the game. Yeah, these are not just websites in a container. These frameworks are clever. They take your single code base and actually translate it into the real native building blocks of the user interface on both iOS and Android. The result, performance that feels buttery smooth, the ability to do complex animations, you get so close to the feel of a true native app. Honestly, for a ton of B2B and B2C apps out there, this is the sweet spot. And for our final type, we have something that kind of breaks all the rules. Progressive web apps, or PWAs. These are super cool because they basically erase the line between a website and an app. So get this, the magic of a PWA is that there's no app store involved. None. A user just goes to your website on their phone and they get a little prompt to add to home screen. One tap and bam, it's there with its own icon, just like any other app. It can even work when they're offline and send them push notifications. It's the best of both worlds, the easy access of a website with the power features of an app.
Okay, we've gone through a lot of tech stuff, but let's bring it back. Why does any of this actually matter to a business, to a startup trying to make it? What's the bottom line? Well, it all boils down to 2 things, money and speed. It starts with this, a potential 40% reduction in development costs. I mean, just let that sink in. By writing code once instead of twice, you can slash your budget significantly. For a startup, a 40% saving isn't just nice, it can be the difference between launching and never getting off the ground.
And it's not just about the upfront cost, not by a long shot. You get to market faster, way faster, because you're launching on both platforms at the same time. Every single one of your users gets the same consistent experience, whether they're on an iPhone or a Samsung. And maintenance? Oh man, you find a bug, you fix it once. You want to add a new feature, you build it once. It simplifies your life in a huge way.
I think this quote really nails it. Hybrid apps combine native power with web flexibility, offering businesses the best of both worlds. And that's exactly it, isn't it? You're not making a compromise. You're taking the best parts of native development, its power, and the best parts of the web, its incredible flexibility, and you're smushing them together into one awesome, efficient strategy.
So, when you add it all up, the massive savings in time and money, the easier updates, the ability to hit your entire audience at once, you really have to wonder, is the future of apps hybrid? For a whole lot of them, the answer is looking like a resounding yes.